in the quiet, upscale neighborhood of Boulevard Robert Schumann in Nantes, France, a dark shadow fell in April 2011 that has never truly lifted. It remains one of the most chilling, perplexing, and haunting cold cases in modern European history. This is the story of the Dupont de Ligonnès family, portrait of perceived perfection that ended in absolute, calculated horror. The silent disappearance. Xavier and Agnes Dupont de Ligonnès were parents to 4 children. Arthur, 21, Thomas Sherba, Anne Shirley, and Benoît Chassagne. To the outside world, they were an aristocratic, respectable family. But between April 1st and April 3rd, 2011, family simply stopped existing. The disappearance was masked by a series of bizarre, carefully crafted deceptions. Xavier sent messages to friends and relatives claiming he was a secret agent for the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration (D) and that the family was being relocated for a top-secret mission. He told the school that his children were moving to Australia. Neighbors watched as the house grew silent. Assuming the family had simply started a new chapter abroad, the horror beneath the terrace. April 21st, 2011, weeks later. The suspicion of neighbors and the lack of communication from the children finally prompted a police intervention. When authorities entered the home on April 21st, 2011, they were met with an eerie stillness and a faint, sickening odor beneath the terrace of their own garden. Investigators discovered a horrific, shallow grave. Agnes and her 4 children, along with their 2 Labradors, had been systematically murdered. They had been drugged and then shot with a .22 caliber rifle while they slept. Their bodies wrapped with religious trinkets and meticulously placed in the soil. One person was missing from the graves. Xavier Dupont de Ligonnès, the mystery of the missing father, while the family's fate was confirmed in the most gruesome way. Xavier became a phantom. After the murders, he embarked on a calculated cross-country trek. He was last captured on CCTV on April 15, 2011, the town of Roquebrune-sur-Argens, walking away from a hotel into a vast, rugged forest with a backpack. He was never seen again. Why did he do it? Why did he vanish? The mask of wealth. Xavier was a man living on a precipice. His business ventures had failed and he was drowning in debt. Friends described a man obsessed with maintaining his social status and aristocratic image. Terrified of the shame that financial ruin would bring upon his family, the divine. Justification. Some psychological profiles suggest that Xavier, who came from a strict Catholic background, may have viewed the murders as an act of salvation, a way to save his family from the impending disgrace of poverty by sending them to a better place, before taking his own life, the master fugitive. Despite international manhunts, thousands of tips, and sightings across the globe, not a single trace of Xavier, not a bank transaction, a fingerprint, or a body has been found. Some believe he committed suicide in the forest, his body never recovered. Others whisper that he is the ultimate master of evasion, living under a new identity. The unsolved truth: the house in Nantes sits empty. A silent monument to a tragedy that defies logical explanation. Was this a premeditated exit from a life of crushing failure, or the actions of a man who lost his grip on reality? The mystery remains. Did he die in the wilderness, or is he watching the world from the shadows of a new life? The Dupont de Ligonnès case serves as a dark reminder that behind the most polished facades, there can exist a void so deep and so dangerous that it threatens to consume everything it relieves. Touches, do you think Xavier planned this exit for months? Or was it a spontaneous reaction to the collapse of his financial reality? And why do you think he has managed to remain invisible for over 15 years? Asterisk, the mystery of Xavier Dupont de Ligonnès is not just a case of a missing person. It is a profound psychological puzzle that continues to haunt French law enforcement and true crime enthusiasts worldwide. The lack of closure has fueled an endless cycle of investigation, speculation, and chilling theories. The ghost in the woods after Xavier was captured on CCTV in Roquebrune-sur-Argens. On April 15, 2011, he seemingly evaporated. The area around the hotel is characterized by dense forests and rugged, unforgiving terrain. For years, investigators conducted extensive ground searches. Using canine units and specialized equipment, yet they found nothing. This leads to the most persistent conflict in the case: the suicide theory. Proponents argue that the forest served as his final resting place. Given the density of the undergrowth and the potential for wildlife or environmental decomposition, it is entirely possible that his remains were simply never located. The calculated escape. Skeptics point to his meticulous planning, the way he sent letters, canceled subscriptions, and handled the logistics of the house before the murders. They argue that a man who could execute such a precise series of tasks was capable of creating a false trail to ensure his survival and disappearance. The unfinished. Clues. What makes this case truly terrifying are the small, lingering details that suggest a mind deeply detached from reality. The final dinner, the night before the murders. Witnesses report seeing the family out to dinner. Everything seemed perfectly normal. The contrast between this mundane public appearance and the brutality that followed within hours is difficult to reconcile. Letter. The elaborate story about the D and his secret mission wasn't just a simple lie. It was a layered narrative designed to buy him time. By creating a story that suggested he would be incommunicado for months, he ensured that no one would look for the family until the trail was long cold. The religious imagery. The way the bodies were buried draped with specific religious items suggests a deeply personal, perhaps ritualistic motive. It implies that in his mind, he wasn't just committing a crime. He was fulfilling a twisted, self-appointed duty. Why? It remains a cold case. The case is officially classified as unsolved because there is no biological proof of his death and no definitive proof of his life. Every few months, an eyewitness reports seeing a man who resembles him in places as far as Scotland, Thailand, or South America. Each time, the police track the lead, perform DNA tests, and each time, it turns out to be a case of mistaken identity. The fear that he might be out there, living a completely different life while the world remains obsessed with his past, is what keeps the Dupont de Ligonnès name synonymous with the ultimate modern-day nightmare. The house at 55 Boulevard Robert Schumann has since been sold, renovated, and occupied by new residents. Yet, even as the physical structure changes, the psychological scar remains. It stands as a testament to the fact that sometimes the most dangerous people are those who walk among us, masked by the comforts of a normal life, waiting for the moment to shatter it all. If a man like Xavier could successfully vanish for 15 years, what does this tell us about the flaws in our modern digital surveillance? And do you believe technology has made it easier or harder to pull off a clean disappearance today? Asterisk. The silence that followed the case is perhaps its most terrifying component. While the world searches for answers, the truth may be closer or further than we ever dared to imagine. The final, unanswered letter before his disappearance. Xavier sent a final, cryptic message to a close friend. It wasn't a confession, nor was it a plea for help. It was a cold, detached observation about the nature of existence. He spoke of the futility of modern life and the necessity of shedding one's skin to truly be free. Was this the manifesto of a man who had already decided he was no longer human? Or was it the final piece of theater in a life defined by stage-managed deception? The digital void in an age where every movement is tracked by GPS, every transaction logged by banks, and every face captured by millions of street-side cameras, how does a man simply delete himself? Investigators have scoured the dark corners of the internet, looking for evidence of a second identity. They found nothing. No digital footprint, no forgotten logins, no stray emails. It is as if he didn't just walk away from his home. He walked away from the concept of a documented human life. This level of total erasure suggests one of two haunting possibilities. He possessed a level of foresight and tactical planning that defies the capabilities of an average person. He had help invisible, hands that guided him out of the light and into a place where the law cannot reach the shadow at the window to this day. Neighbors of the new owners of the Nantes home occasionally report something strange. They describe seeing a man in the distance, lingering on the sidewalk at dusk, just long enough to be noticed, before vanishing into the shadows of the nearby trees. Is it a trick of the light? A manifestation of the collective trauma of the neighborhood? Or is it a reminder that the past is never truly buried? The question that haunts every year on the anniversary of the discovery of the bodies. The police receive a single anonymous phone call. No one speaks on the other end, just the sound of heavy, rhythmic breathing, and then a slow, deliberate click. It has been traced to different burner phones across Europe, each time from a location that offers no clues, no leads, and no hope of capture. We are left with a chilling reality. The case is not cold because the trail has ended. It is cold because the trail never truly existed at all. Xavier Dupont de Ligonnès may be long gone, or he may be standing in a crowd watching us watch him, waiting for the world to finally look away. Somewhere in a quiet room, a man sits looking at a computer screen, perhaps reading these very words. He does not fear being caught. He only wonders if we have realized yet that he was never the one who was trapped. The question is no longer where he is. It is whether he is finally finished with what he started.